Members of parliament have been forced to evacuate the buildings of the parliament after the Kenyan furious Gen Zs who are demonstrating are gearing towards the parliament buildings. The members of parliament, the most vocal ones and those that were pretending that there will be, and they voted yesterday that they will make sure that the Gen Zs of this nation will not demonstrate or will not take to the nation into anarchy. They have been forced to run for their dear lives, and they have adjourned every meeting and everything that was supposed to be carried out in the National Assembly today has been disrupted. This comes after the Gen Zs who have been demonstrating since the start of the day are gearing towards the National Assembly. The National Assembly abruptly adjourned its Wednesday, June session after failing to meet quorum. Gen Z's protests have swept across the country. Only a handful of MPs turned up, with many fleeing parliament as protest built outside the tension-gripped Nairobi CBD. The morning sitting had been planned to debate key bills, but lawmakers exited amid rising calls for justice and accountability. Outside, youth demonstrators marked 1 year since the 2024 crackdown, reigniting pressure on leaders over police brutality. A clear tense morning in Parliament has ended in an abrupt adjournment on Wednesday. This happened as lawmakers hastily left the National Assembly amid a surging nationwide protest led by the Gen Zs. The morning sitting, which was scheduled to debate 6 motions and 4 key bills, was cut short after the House failed to meet the minimum quorum required to proceed. According to Article 121 of the Constitution of Kenya, at least 50 members of parliament must be present for business to continue. But only a handful showed up, prompting the speaker to adjourn the session just 1 hour in. The official reason given was the lack of quorum, but outside Parliament building, the reason felt far more immediate. Across Nairobi's central business district and in other towns around the country, Gen Z's land protests were gaining momentum. The demonstrators, mostly young Kenyans, had taken to the street to commemorate the victims of the brutal 2024 crackdown during and finance bill protest. The demands this year were justice for the slain, accountability from leaders, and end of the excessive state violence, that is, the police brutality. Parliament quickly became a flashpoint, with memories still fresh of last year's event when enraged protesters stormed the assembly and set part of the complex ablaze. In videos circulating, MPs were seen driving out of parliament in quick sessions, their convoys maneuvering through streets already swelling with youth demonstrators. In related report, end of the planned Gen Z memorial protest marking the first anniversary of the last year finance bill demonstrations, Nairobi authorities fortified Parliament Road with razor wire and banned access to the CBD. The move aimed to prevent disruption near government buildings, including the parliament and the State House. Gen Z's protesters vowed a peaceful rally demanding justice for victims of police brutality and systematic reforms. Youth leaders emphasized respect for the law, while Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja warned against incitement, spreading false information, or attempt to breach protected zones. Security was under heavy deployment with anti-riot units manning key junctions, especially near Yaya Center and the DOD roundabout to enforce closures of PSVs and border borders. The CBD remained nearly quiet as most shops shut early and checkpoint securities increased. Some opposition leaders criticized the barricades, claiming that public access to parliament used to be opened and now the barriers suggest fear from the authorities. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen supported the police actions, pledging protection for livelihood and safety while warning of arrest for anyone bringing weapons like machetes or clubs to the demonstrations. So the fear is gone. The fear for the people of the nation is gone. There is a key word that the chief oppositions have been using to man and to gather youths and to incite youths to come out in big numbers to come and demonstrate for what is rightfully theirs. That when we lose our fears, they lose their power. That is what has happened today. The youth of the nation have lost their fears, and the leaders who have been maneuvering around, shouting at the top of their voices, saying that they have the power to stop this nation from moving, have lost that power. Now what remains is who is going to step down, because either way, the police have to declare that DIG Langat is either DIG Langat, who we know is the commander of the rogue police force that has been being used by the president of the state to abduct, torture and murder any verbal voice that has been criticizing the government at a top, or the president of the nation, who is the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces, has to step down. Those are the demands that the Gen Zs have given. They said that they wanted to demonstrate so that they could honor, or they could give honor to and remember the memories of the heroic young women and men who were murdered and their brains were scattered on the pavement of parliament that day. Now, the MPs went ahead yesterday. They were chest thumping. Kina Ichongwa, the majority leader. Kina minority, the majority whip, Osoro, the one from Kisii. They have been chest thumping here the Kamket member of parliament for Tiati, saying that they are going to protect the parliament, and they will kill anybody who tries to access the state house. But to our surprise, the Gen Zs who gathered on the street today trying to picket and demonstrate and hear out the grievances as stated in the Constitution of Kenya. Article 1 says that all the sovereign powers belongs to the people. And if you guys have been mumeshindwa you have been defeated on to represent us through the democratic voting, that is the democracy of voting, then the people of the nation shall directly exercise their freedom of sovereign power that belongs to the people. And that was has happened. And to our surprise, those vocal MPs who have been raising voices, throwing all kinds of funds to people, were running for their dear lives as the Gen Z's protesters stormed or are gearing towards the parliament. As we speak now, they are going to storm the parliament in a few minutes, and the MPs have been seen running with fuel guzzling SUVs everywhere, escaping for their dear life. Even the threats that they were giving out yesterday, it seems that they are not useful for today. I would like to hear your views on these, guys. Leave a comment on the comment section, like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is Janjalam Mjini KE. Let's meet on our next video.